Number 10. The land of a million elephants. Right in the center of Southeast Asia sits Laos, a country many people barely notice on the map, yet its location is incredibly strategic. It's completely landlocked, pressed between Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Myanmar, and China, without a single inch of coastline. Covering about 236,000 square kilometers, ranking 82nd in the world, by land size Laos is smaller than Oregon, but home to roughly 7.7 million people, representing more than 49 ethnic groups. That's a remarkable level of diversity for a country this size. It almost feels like several different worlds quietly sharing the same mountains and river valleys. Between the 14th and 18th centuries, this central position made Laos a regional power controlling trade routes across Indochina, but geography has always been both a gift and a challenge. Over 80% of the country is mountainous, which makes infrastructure expensive and development slower. As of 2025, Laos's GDP is estimated at around 19 to 20 billion US dollars, with GDP per capita hovering near 2,500 US dollars, still dramatically lower than developed economies. And because the country has no seaport, every container of goods must move through Thailand or Vietnam, first increasing costs and limiting competitiveness. Yet despite economic limits, nature here feels almost cinematic. Along the Mekong River lies Siphan Don, literally 4,000 islands. Don Kong, Don Det, and Don Kon are the main highlights, drawing travelers who come to bike through sleepy villages, kayak across green currents, or try to spot the rare Irrawaddy freshwater dolphins. It's calm, slow, and refreshingly unhurried. If you plan to travel to Laos, note that from May to October is the rainy season, and during this time the Mekong River can flood up to 50% of the country's area. Historically, the country was founded by King Fa Ngum and was called Lan Shang, meaning the land of a million elephants. In reality today, the entire country does not even have 1,000 elephants. The main reasons are illegal elephant hunting and uncontrolled deforestation. King Fa Ngum would likely not be pleased to know that his descendants have turned the title "a million elephants" into an exaggeration 1,000 times over. The official language is Lao, which shares up to 80% similarity with Thai, so communication across borders is surprisingly easy. And if you visit Vientiane, you'll hear English and even some French spoken fairly commonly. By the way, where are you watching this from? Is it hot or cold where you are right now? Let everyone know in the comments. It's always interesting to see how far these stories travel. Number 9. Real life in Laos. Life in the remote mountain villages of Laos feels like stepping into another century. Far from the noise of the cities, time here flows with the rhythm of sunrise and rain. Houses stand on wooden stilts, their walls made of bamboo, their roofs patched with straw, or in most cases today, corrugated metal sheets that shimmer under the sun. To enter, you climb a creaking ladder that survived countless monsoons. Beneath the floors, pigs grunt, chickens scratch, and cows shuffle slowly, while the smell of wood smoke drifts through the air. It's not luxury, but it's home. Women carry the weight of these villages both literally and figuratively. They pound rice by hand, wash clothes in rivers, haul heavy buckets of water from distant wells, and cook for families that never seem to stop growing. Men rise before dawn to trek into the forest cutting bamboo, or collecting firewood rain, or shine often barefoot on steep trails. If you carried a 50-kilogram bundle of firewood for hours in mountain rain with no shoes, how long would you last? For the Lao villagers, that's just an ordinary day. At the local markets, survival turns into a way of life. People bring whatever they can grow, catch, or make by hand: bundles of forest herbs, wild honey, sticky rice, silver jewelry, or carved tools laid neatly on tarps and bamboo tables. Twice a week, laughter fills the air when the village lottery begins. numbers tied to animals a few kip wagered, and everyone hoping that today fortune might finally smile their way. But behind this quiet simplicity hides a story of unimaginable destruction. Between 1964 and 1973, more than 270 million cluster bombs were dropped on Laos, making it the most heavily bombed country per capita in human history. Even now, over 80 million unexploded ordnances remain buried beneath the soil. Yet instead of letting fear define them, the Lao people turned horror into art bomb shells, repurposed into flower pots, fence posts, house pillars, and fishing boats. Some artisans melt the metal into knives and jewelry. A single diffused shell can sell for over $100, transformed from a weapon into a symbol of endurance. Despite everything, Lao kindness endures. Theft is rare, smiles come easily, and greetings begin with a humble nope, palms pressed together in quiet respect. Their most beloved saying, Bo Pen Nyang, means, it's okay.
Bo Pen Nyang
captures their entire philosophy of patience and peace. Along the rivers that spirit comes alive, men and women bathe together in public, laughing and talking freely, without a trace of shame. In this culture, peace replaces judgment and simplicity replaces pride. The night markets in Vientiane and Luang Prabang come alive after sunset, rows of stalls lit by warm bulbs, selling silk scarves, handmade crafts, bamboo lamps, grilled meat noodles, and sweet coconut desserts. You can eat with your hands, drink fresh sugarcane juice, or sit by the river with a bottle of beer Lao, the country's famous beer, known for its smooth, slightly sweet taste. Drinking together here isn't just social, it's part of daily life. And then there's Botan, a stark contrast, neon casinos, karaoke bars, and streets filled with young Lao women working the night shift for mostly Chinese visitors. Two worlds, one nation, serenity and temptation sharing the same border. So if you had one night in Laos, would you choose the peaceful river or the glowing lights of Botan? Number 8. Lao women. If you stroll along the banks of the Mekong River at sunset, you'll see them Lao women moving slowly through the golden light, wrapped in their traditional sin. A hand-woven skirt that carries far more than color or style. Every sin tells a story. The entwined serpent motif, for example, is said to bring wealth to merchants and guide the wearer toward true love. When a daughter in the family comes of age, she wears this pattern so she may marry the one she loves and live a happy life. Another design, the tiger motif, symbolizes strength, but it also warns against killing this sacred animal. Long ago, when villagers found a dead tiger, they covered it in white cloth and mourned its spirit. Woven into fabric, the tiger pattern now stands as a reminder that those who harm one will curse 3 generations with misfortune. So when you look at a Lao woman's skirt, you're not just seeing decoration, you're seeing ancient legends woven into silk. Their beauty, though, isn't limited to the clothes they wear. Modern Lao women have become strikingly elegant, blending natural charm with growing confidence. You might be surprised how radiant they are without luxury brands or heavy makeup. Many still rely on saffron or coconut oil for glowing skin, embracing simplicity as the heart of their beauty. In love, they're gentle and subtle. A quiet smile, a soft glance, or a ball of sticky rice offered by hand can speak louder than words. Sometimes a thin white thread tied around the wrist means more than any love letter. It's a silent promise of affection and luck. In Vientiane or Luang Prabang, you'll see office workers in pencil skirts and silk blouses, scrolling through smartphones, sipping coffee, and switching effortlessly between Lao and English. They're educated, independent, and quietly confident, running online stores, working in tourism, or studying abroad. Even with lipstick and high heels, they carry the same calm grace that defines their culture. Soft smiles, glowing skin from coconut oil, and eyes that seem to speak without words. And yet, when festivals arrive, especially the Bun Pi May Water Festival, everything transforms. The usually reserved Lao women, become the heartbeat of the celebration. They wear colorful fitted blouses or even short playful dresses, drenching each other with water and laughter. Streets explode with joy music and the scent of jasmine. Tradition blends with freedom, and for a few sun-soaked days, modesty gives way to pure fun. So if you're curious about the secret to winning the heart of a beautiful Lao woman, drop the number 8 below. I might just reveal it at the end of this video. Still behind the laughter lies quiet strength. Around 35% of Lao women aged 18 to 30 remain unmarried, choosing growth over pressure, while about 150 are rescued each year from trafficking networks across China, Thailand, and Malaysia, as 400 foreign traffickers face arrest. You've seen the beauty of Lao women. Now get ready for something just as unforgettable, maybe even a little shocking. The flavors that define Laos and the dishes you'd never believe people actually eat. Number 7. Exotic foods of Laos. The best way to understand Laos might be through its food. Meals here often start with khao niu, the sticky rice that never leaves a Lao table. Steamed in bamboo baskets until soft and fragrant, it's eaten by hand and paired with grilled meats, spicy salads, or soups. Right next to it comes ping kai chicken marinated in lemongrass, garlic, and fish sauce, then grilled over charcoal until the skin turns smoky and crisp. The kind of simple, honest flavor that makes you hungry even before you sit down. At the markets, you'll smell sai wa sausage packed with chili galangal and fresh herbs, its spicy aroma floating through the air. And no Lao meal feels complete without tam mak hung, the country's famous green papaya salad, shredded fruit smashed together with lime chili fish sauce and a hint of sweetness, creating that perfect chaos of flavor where spicy, sour, and salty collide. But once you venture deeper into the mountains, the menu starts to test your limits. Locals cook with mai sakan, a wild pepperwood tossed straight into soups. It looks harmless, but chew on it, and your tongue starts to buzz with a strange electric sensation, as if nature just plugged you in. Still not shocked? Try the deep-fried spiders. Big and glossy black, they're seasoned, dropped into hot oil, and served until the legs crunch like chips, while the body tastes creamy and nutty. People swear it's delicious once you stop thinking about what you're eating. And then comes kai mot dung, red ant eggs, harvested from forest nests. These tiny white pearls burst with a tangy, lemony flavor, often cooked into sour soups with wild herbs or fried with kaffir lime leaves and chili. They're high in protein, light in texture, and surprisingly addictive, a snack both daring and delicate. Across the country, ready-made food is popular. Stalls line both narrow alleys and main roads, selling grilled meats, fried snacks, and steaming soups that fill the night air with irresistible scent. So if you were standing in a night market somewhere along the Mekong, surrounded by sizzling pans and curious smells, which would you try first? Pepperwood soup, crispy spiders, or a spoonful of ant eggs full of ant? Number 6. Cultural taboos in Laos. Traveling through Laos isn't just about temples and rivers, it's also about knowing what not to do. Break the wrong rule here, and you won't just get awkward stares. You could seriously offend someone, or worse, end up in real trouble. Imagine this: you're wandering through a quiet temple courtyard, the golden statues shimmering in the sun. A monk walks past, and instinctively you reach out to hand him something. Sounds harmless, right? Not in Laos. Here, monks are treated with the highest reverence, and touching one, especially if you're a woman, is strictly forbidden. It's not seen as a small social error, but as an act that defiles his purity. The proper way is simple. Hand your offering to a man first, and he will pass it on to the monk. That single step speaks volumes about humility and respect. Once inside a Lao home, new rules take over. Sleeping with your head facing the door is thought to invite misfortune, and walking heavily around the house is seen as stirring up bad energy. Even tapping a spoon against a bowl or pot is believed to call evil spirits, a superstition most families still quietly observe. You might smile at the idea, but when you're in someone's home, it's best to play along. And here's something most tourists never realize. If you're stopped by the police for a minor issue, arguing will only make it worse. Some officers expect a small fine before letting you go. It's not legal, but it happens so often that locals just treat it as part of daily life. So if it ever happens, stay calm, stay polite, and move on. Feet too have their own social boundaries. Using your foot to touch someone or pointing it toward them is considered one of the rudest gestures you can make. The head is sacred, the seat of wisdom, while the feet are viewed as the dirtiest, lowest part of the body. Even an accidental brush under the table can trigger real anger, so keep your legs in check. And then there are the quiet little customs that color daily life. No haircuts or shaving on Wednesdays, no washing hair on Thursdays, and very few car horns. In fact, up to 85% of Lao drivers believe honking is unnecessary, which might explain why traffic here feels oddly peaceful compared to its noisy neighbors. But keep in mind, not every part of Laos enforces these taboos strictly. In big cities, traditions bend a little, while in rural villages, the old rules still hold power. Number 5. Men ordain before marriage. In Laos, marriage isn't just about love. It's a rite of endurance, patience, and proof. Before a man can think about taking a wife, he must first walk the path of the monk. His head is shaved, his saffron robe wrapped tight, and for 3 long months he lives inside the temple walls. He wakes before sunrise to chant, meditates through the midday heat, and eats only what is given by others. Can you imagine spending 90 days without touching money, without seeing your fiancé, and without speaking except in prayer? That silence is the test, a way to see whether a man's heart is steady enough for family life. If he fails or gives up early, the bride's family can cancel the wedding instantly. But as modern life reshapes Laos, fewer men take on this tradition, and the cost of that change is real. According to United Nations and World Bank data, nearly 2 million Lao women, almost half the female population, have faced emotional or physical violence, often at the hands of husbands or partners. Over 40% report abuse. Yet most never speak of it, taught to believe that endurance is part of being a wife. Still, Lao weddings remain among the most fascinating in Southeast Asia. The celebration begins with open fires crackling as guests grill chicken, prepare offal soup, and pour homemade rice liquor into tiny cups that never seem to empty. Women wear embroidered sin skirts and layers of heavy silver jewelry, their hair pinned with marigolds. Elders chant blessings and press crisp banknotes into the bride's hair, a sign of fortune and fertility. Then comes the ancient custom of staying with the bride's family. The groom arrives dressed in traditional attire, a sword at his side, a ceremonial offering in his hands. Behind him, friends and relatives carry bedding clothes and gifts for his new home. At the bride's doorway lies a flat stone covered with a banana leaf and marigold petals. He must step on it, while his sister-in-law washes his feet, collecting a small fee before letting him in. It's part blessing, part playful test. After the ceremony, the groom doesn't take his bride away. Instead, he stays sometimes 1 or 2 years, sometimes longer, helping his wife's family farm trade or build their livelihood. In many homes, men are the cooks, a reversal that surprises outsiders. Number 4. Sticky rice and beer. The Lao way of life. If you ever wondered which country eats the most sticky rice on earth, the answer might surprise you. It's Laos, where each person consumes nearly 155 kilograms every year. But sticky rice here isn't just food, it's identity. It's what families share before every meal, what monks receive in their morning alms, and what ties daily life to ancient rhythm. And curiously, it's also what pairs perfectly with the other national obsession, beer. The drink of choice, beer Lao, the golden pride of Laos, brewed with jasmine rice and hops imported from Germany. Praised by Time CNN Travel and BBC Travel, this local lager has reached over 20 countries, yet nowhere is it loved more than at home. People drink it at weddings, picnics, even lunch breaks. Age, gender, occasion, none of it matters. Would you believe some families keep cases of beer lao like others store water? For many, it's less of a drink and more of a daily ritual, as common as the sticky rice beside it. But behind the laughter and clinking glasses lies a harsh reality. The beer industry generates over $61.6 million in annual tax revenue. Yet the social cost is devastating. In 2024, 6,789 traffic accidents left 929 people dead and more than 10,000 injured, most linked to drunk driving and speeding. Even worse, around 55% of deaths in Laos now come from lifestyle diseases like heart failure, diabetes, and cancer, all quietly fueled by excessive drinking. So yes, beer lao remains a symbol of national pride, smooth, sweet, and proudly Lao. But the next time you raise a glass, ask yourself, would you drink it the way they do here, or stop at just one? Number 3. Wild Festivals of Laos. If you ever thought Laos was a quiet, sleepy country, its festivals will change your mind fast. Let's start with one that truly carries the nation's royal legacy, the Elephant Festival in Sayabuli Province. As I mentioned earlier, perhaps King Faangum, the founder who first named this land, the land of 1,000,000 elephants, would not be pleased to know that today, Laos has fewer than 1,000 elephants left, with about 400 in the wild and 500 domesticated. To honor and protect these majestic creatures, the festival has been held every year since 2007, drawing crowds from all over the country. Elephants are dressed in colorful fabrics, bathed and fed by caretakers, then join dazzling parades, beauty contests, and playful shows like elephant football dancing, or even garland-giving performances that melt every heart in the audience. When the rainy season rolls in, the rhythm shifts from land to water, with the boat racing festival Bun Suang Hua. In Vientiane, the event marks the end of Buddhist Lent as long dragon-style boats cut through the muddy waters of the Mekong. Each boat carries up to 50 rowers, their paddles striking in perfect unison, while thousands of spectators cheer from the riverbanks. The competition may be fierce, but the spirit is pure joy, a blend of teamwork, faith, and national pride. And then comes the wildest celebration of them all. Bun Pi Mei, the water splashing festival, Laos's version of New Year. Picture walking down the street and suddenly being drenched with a bucket of water. Would you laugh or get angry? In Laos, there's only one right answer: laugh. Here, water means blessings, a way to wash away bad luck and welcome a clean start. People visit temples to bathe Buddha statues, then take to the streets with hoses, buckets, and even fire pumps, soaking anyone in sight. By evening, everyone is dripping wet and grinning ear to ear. Finally, when the skies dry again, the rocket festival Baun Bang Phai lights them up instead. Villagers build rockets weighing from 10 to 500 kilograms packed with gunpowder and launch toward the heavens, a noisy, thrilling prayer for rain and prosperity that ends every dry season with fire and thunder. Number 2. The cheapest paradise you never knew existed. How much do you think it costs to live comfortably in a country where time moves slow, smiles come easy, and rent barely dents your wallet? Believe it or not, Laos ranks among the cheapest countries in the world. According to HelloSafe's 2025 Global Report, Laos holds the #1 spot out of 136 countries, with an average daily cost for travelers of just $10.97, less than a fast food meal in the United States. For those who decide to stay longer, especially in the capital, Vientiane life still feels surprisingly affordable. A single person can live comfortably on $1,000 to $1,200 per month, including rent, food, transportation, and utilities. A cozy one-bedroom apartment downtown costs around $300 to $600, or up to $800 if you want something fully furnished with air conditioning and high-speed Wi-Fi. Meals are equally gentle on the wallet. Local dishes cost only $1 to $3, while Western restaurants rarely exceed $15 per meal. Even electricity, water, and internet combined usually range between $50 and $120 per month. Many Western expats say it feels almost surreal. The money I used to pay for rent back home now covers my entire lifestyle here, one traveler joked. Others find themselves staying far longer than planned, drawn to Laos's slow rhythm and calm simplicity. To put things in perspective, compare that with Barbados, the world's most expensive destination, where travelers spend an eye-watering $286.44 per day. So when you realize that Laos offers safety, scenery, and serenity for a fraction of the price, you start to understand why so many foreigners come for a visit and quietly decide never to leave. If you could live comfortably abroad for $1,000 a month, would you give it a try? Number 1. The hidden mysteries of Laos. They say Laos is a land of peace and simplicity. But look closer and you'll find something far stranger. Beneath the calm temples and misty mountains lies a country where legends whisper louder than science, and not every mystery has an answer. Start in Chiang province, where over 2,000 massive stone jars, some weighing several tons, scatter across the hills like the remnants of an ancient civilization. Locals call it the Plain of Jars, and scientists still can't agree on why these colossal vessels were made. Were they used to store rice wine for ancient feasts, or did they once hold the ashes of the dead? Archaeologists have found human bones and burial artifacts nearby, but even that only deepens the riddle. Carved from granite and sandstone rich in quartz, feldspar, and mica, these jars have stood for roughly 2,000 years, surviving wars, weather, and time itself. Who built them and how? No one knows. In 2019, UNESCO declared the site a World Heritage Treasure, yet its secrets remain sealed beneath the soil. Farther north near Luang Prabang, you'll find the Pak U Caves carved into limestone cliffs along the Mekong River. Inside, thousands of wooden Buddha statues, small, large, some no taller than your hand, fill every corner. The dim light flickers over their faces, casting long shadows like silent monks guarding forgotten prayers. Step inside and you can almost feel the air hum with centuries of devotion. Head south and the mystery turns wild. The Kone Phafeng, the largest waterfall in Southeast Asia, thunder through Sifan Dawn like a living beast. Locals believe river spirits dwell beneath the violent waves, and fishermen whisper of the elusive giant Mekong catfish, a creature so massive it blurs the line between myth and reality. In the remote mountains of Atapeu and Sekong, villagers still avoid certain forests, believing they belong to ancient gods and restless ancestors. Old temples in Luang Prabang hold manuscripts that scholars say may contain wisdom the world has long forgotten. So if you ever wander through Laos, remember this isn't just a country. It's a living museum of mysteries waiting to be solved. If you found this video helpful and want to continue exploring many other fascinating stories with me, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. See you again in our next adventures. The information is for reference only.